Hello and welcome. It is the 22nd annual Garden State Film Festival. This year there will be 200 films from over 14 countries screening the weekend of March 21st to the 24th of this year. I am your host, Emily DeSimone, and I'm here with co-producer Nicholas T. Petros, Sr., director co-producer Danny Donnelly, and writer co-producer Amy Teresa of the documentary short The Woman in the Room. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Can you give us all a tidbit about your film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to go first? Okay. Well, it's actually a narrative short, not documentary. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good. Yeah. So it's the woman in the room. It's based on the Stephen King short story, by the same name. Is one of the part of the Dollar Baby program. And Nick Petros is the mastermind behind wanting to do this film and this story. So Nick, I'll jump over to you, describe a little more. Go ahead.
No, it was great. That was great. I was actually so yeah, like Danny said, this was produced as part of what was commonly referred to as the Stephen King Dollar Baby Program, where for literally $1 you could obtain the rights to adapt one of his uh, short stories into a short film. And uh, we decided to do The Woman in the Room. And we were very fortunate to have gotten this completed when we did because pretty without warning, pretty abruptly, they actually canceled the Dollar Baby program just this past December. So we kind of got it in under the wire.
Oh, wow. I actually didn't even know that that was, I mean, that's actually really cool. It's a shame that they ended it, but that's, I guess you were saying, a Stephen King short, and I'm like, huh. And so that's actually really cool. Good for you guys for jumping in on that. So, all right. So was this your first time directing, writing, producing for all of you guys? I mean, I'd love to hear your background.
Um, well, I guess I'll go first. I'm actually so I've been an actor for almost over 15 years now, and that's been my main thing. And then probably the past around the same time, I quickly got behind the camera as well and started directing, writing, directing, and then editing as well. And so when it came to this film, I already had a lot of experience underneath my belt. I met Nick on another project before he hired me as a director for another project. And then when he brought this story to me and wanted to do this, and he wanted me to direct, um, and I also ended up having, I also did the cinematography, so directed cinematography, and I edited it, and yeah, did all that. And then Amy was the writer here, so go ahead, you want to jump in on that?
Yeah, it was so it was really wonderful that Nick approached me to adapt the short story into a screenplay. I was a little bit intimidated by it, but I read the story and yeah, I wrote the short film. I think it took me, I don't know, maybe about a month or so. It was a little bit, I don't know how fast that turnaround time was, Nick. I tried real hard, but it was a little bit scary for me. Stephen King I'm a big fan of Stephen King, so a lot of anxiety, but I think I was really happy with how it turned out. And I think Nick was too.
Oh yeah, definitely. This has probably been a 3 year process,
Oh,
and
wow.
it took a little while until we got here and got a story. I had a couple other writers look at this before, and they had passed. So um, Amy just knocked it out of the park with this screenplay, and Danny was did a great job directing and editing and doing all the cinematography and lighting, uh, post effects, etc. He's really a one man one man band when it comes to this. So I was really fortunate to be able to work with this team again. And like Dan said, this isn't our first project together. We produced a television pilot together several years ago in the height of COVID. As a matter of fact, we've worked together on other television series, feature films, and Danny's actually was in one of my short films that I produced a couple years back. So yeah, we've all been working together for probably the last 5 years. I've been doing film and television production for about the last 7 or 8 years, but it's really just the culmination of a lifelong passion for film and television.
So it sounds like, I mean, each of you really have your feet pretty wet in this industry. That's awesome. I mean, can you talk about how, being working the different hats that you have here going on, maybe a challenge that you faced that has made you into a stronger, director or producer or writer?
Yeah, do you want to go first, or you wanna...
Well, I mean, I could just sort of say a little bit about, I mean, I'm also an actor too. And so I feel like that, and an avid reader as well. I'm also a reader of screenplays. I feel like I'm one of those people who reads a lot of screenplays in general. So, but I think the whole acting piece really helped form my screenwriting passion, just wanting to be able to see that story come to life on my own. So that's I think challenge as an actor is just, you don't ever really have a lot of control. So it's really fun when you're actually writing it.
Okay. Something that you discovered that like a new hat that you pulled, I guess. That's,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like
Yeah.
it's cool on both sides. So getting to take a step into the outside of the acting position behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then hearing it's pretty exciting when you write something and you hear people say the words that you wrote and they sound really good. So it's exciting. It's an exciting, different twist on things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah. I'm sorry. What was the question again?
A challenge that
The challenge.
that informed. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, a big challenge all the time is on set is time. I feel like time is always getting away from you when you're trying to complete something, and I'm a big proponent of pre-production. So I storyboard, I plan out all the shots and everything. So it's most likely on paper beforehand, and when you have a good script to work from, you kind of can see everything pretty clearly. So, but over the years, just even when I was starting out as an actor, I've always been a person who's seen like the whole picture from beginning to end, like very visual. So jumping into directing and cinematography and getting my hands, wet there, and then doing a lot of editing. It's kind of like painting a picture, you're just getting all the different paints, and then you're going to make something from nothing kind of thing. And very collaborative work. So when you work with a bunch of great other artists you can trust and rely on, it just, it influences all the different aspects of filmmaking. So like directing makes you a better actor, acting makes you a better writer. So I just love doing it all. And I think it just helps you become a better overall filmmaker and artist in general, just getting your hands in everything. So yeah, I think that's about it. And Nick.
I don't have a whole lot more to add. I mean, producers have, we always have the same challenges, budget constraints, schedule constraints, locations, budget constraints. But when you have a good team and you work with people that you know and you trust, and you have a good story, and it just that's such a huge part of it. The challenges that I deal with are inconsequential compared to what the artist, the director Danny and Amy, and the actors, Eric and Susan and Brian and everybody, their jobs honestly are a hell of a lot harder than mine. I kind of just get to sit back and watch it all come together. So I'm lucky in that way.
But you're very hands-on too, Nick. You're on set, moving stuff, doing stuff.
You credit yourself here. You're not sitting here with us because your feet were up.
No. I mean, I am a working producer, so I do put my hands on everything, and it's, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, but I also know when to step back and let the experts handle it.
Yeah. But I think he's underselling himself. He's one of those problem solving producers too, because inevitably there's going to be some issue. It could be anything. It could be related to the location. It could be somebody forgot something. It could be we're missing this prop, and Nick just makes it happen. He's finds things. He comes up with different ideas that you would never think will work, and somehow he's rigging something and it works. So he's the problem solving producer.
You have to be.
That's the beauty of collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. What do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Yeah. And I think especially with indie filmmaking, all of us can attest to, like, when you have budget constraints or location restraint or time constraints, you get pretty damn creative with getting what shots are going to work, and like you get or what shots you want, and you're like, oh, I don't have the equipment for that, but hold on, I think I can do this. Let me figure out this. I don't got a dolly, but I got rollerblades, or I got, you start, figuring out what you can do to make the shot work, and you get very creative, and sometimes you pull off some really cool stuff with, like, very lower budget in terms of, like, if you're on a big set. So yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. But I think, should we talk a little bit about the actual story of the film and give shout out to our actors? And
go for it. I'd love to hear it.
Go ahead, Aim, you do it.
Yeah, go ahead, Aim.
You wrote it.
Okay, so this is a quick synopsis of the film is it's basically a son and his mother. If you're not familiar with the short story, it's an end of life story, and the dynamic between these two people, and that a lot of the pain that comes with end of life situations. And we had three wonderful actors in these roles. We had Eric Christ, who played the role of Johnny. We had Susan Moses, who is the role of Mom, and we had Brian Anthony Wilson, who is the role of the doctor. And they're stellar performers. They were so real and genuine. Very, very powerful performances from all of them.
Yeah.
I know. I am a huge. Oh no, sorry. Were you gonna huge?
Oh no, please.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm personally, like, I've always kind of loved reading horror thriller growing up, and I've read quite a bit of Stephen King. So I'm actually really excited to see your guys' films. I mean, you're such a great bunch. I feel like I could interview you guys for an entire half hour or 45 minutes. Unfortunately, I do have to wrap things up. But are you guys going to be at the film festival this year?
We are, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, guys, you can check out the narrative short, The Woman in the Room, at the Kingsley Ballroom at the Berkeley Hotel on Saturday, March 23rd during the 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. block. You guys, I really am so excited to get to see you there. And there will be 200 films screening across 8 venues, including hosting parties, panels, events, and more. You can get your tickets at gsff.org/tickets. Danny, Nick, and Amy, I really am so excited for your film, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this interview, and I can't wait. Have a good night, guys.
All right, have a good night. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.